Introduction to the power factor. So first, the quantity of power transmitted or distributed to the consumers or transmitted to the various locations over some longer distances is majorly based on the term called power factor. Power factor of the load or and the second one is parameters of transmission line, that is RLC parameters of a transmission line. So as I have already discussed that most of your power system loads are of inductive in nature. Once the load is highly inductive in nature, then it is possible to have a low lagging power factor in our power system, but it is undesirable to operate the power system in a low power factor or low lagging power factor manner. Okay. Low power factor results in increase of current also. So you know the expression for power is given as, in a three-phase system, P is equals to root 3 VI cos pi. Am I right? From that, I is equals to P by root 3 V cos pi. Suppose if power factor of your system is low, then automatically the current drawn by the conductor is very high, which results in some additional losses also, because if the current of flowing through the conductor is high, then automatically the I square R losses are also high. Next, that is the reason why we declare that the power factor which is close to unity is always preferred to operate a power system, whether it is either transmission part or distribution part. So power factor close to unity is always preferred, such that there will be economy also. Suppose if the power factor is high, then the amount of current flowing through the conductor reduces, which in turn reduces the I square R losses. If the losses are low, then we can say that the efficiency of the system is high. So in order to have a better distribution and better transmission of electrical energy from one place to another location in an economy manner, then the foremost parameter to remember is power factor, and its value must be close to unity. That's all about introduction. Now we shall see the definition of power factor. So power factor, it is from the knowledge of your electrical circuits, it can be defined as the ratio of real power to the apparent power, and it is denoted with cos pi. So cos pi is equals to P by S, where cos pi is power factor, P is real power of the system, and S is apparent power of the system. So it can be defined in another way also, that is the power factor is defined as the ratio of cosine of angle between voltage and current in an AC circuit. Cosine of angle between voltage and current in an AC circuit. So as I have said that most of the loads are of inductive in nature for a given power system network, the angle between voltage and current is always in a lagging manner. That is, your current vector lags the voltage vector by an angle pi, which may be less than 90 degrees, and cosine of it is treated as power factor. Since it is lagging, we call that power factor as lagging power factor. So that is diagrammatically I have shown here. V vector, voltage vector, is taken as reference, and current vector is drawn a lagging with some angle pi, so that cos pi represents the power factor value. Similarly, if the loads are of capacitive in nature, that is leading loads, then the angle between voltage and current is positive, and hence the cosine of this angle is treated as leading power factor of the system. As usual, the voltage vector is taken as reference. From that, the current vector is drawn in a leading manner ahead of the system. Ahead of the voltage vector, we have represented the current vector as shown in the figure. Okay. So it may be greater than 0 but less than 90 here also. If the load is pure capacitive, then it leads the current vector leads the voltage vector by an angle exactly 90 degrees. Similarly, if the load is completely inductive in nature, then the current vector lags the voltage vector by an angle of 90 degrees. But here it is a combination of resistive and inductive, so it may be less than 90 degrees only. Similarly, for leading power factor, it is less than or equal to 90 degrees but leading in nature. Okay, that is the knowledge regarding the power factor. Now coming on to the different causes of low power factor. So there are 5 different causes which are the major part in a power system that leads to have low power factor in the given distribution system. The which first one is the major cause is for low lagging power factor. The very great cause is induction motors. The induction motors, either it may be single phase or 3 phase, it works with a low lagging power factor at light loads and a little bit improved value at increased load, but not the power factor up to the mark. That is always the induction motor operates at a power factor less than 0.7 at most. For low lagging power factor at a light load condition, even it may operate at 0.3 power factor also. So that is why this is the first and foremost major cause which is giving low power factor in the given distribution system. The second most cause for having the low power factor is a transformer. So a transformer draws magnetizing component of current under no load condition. So this is also one of the cause for having a lagging power factor in the given distribution system or transmission system. The third one is some miscellaneous equipments which we are going to see in our day-to-day life, like arc lamps, electric discharge lamps, welding equipments, etc. So these equipments have most of the induction value, most of the induction parameters. So these operate with a low power factor. Okay. Next, fourth one is the industrial heating furnaces. So this heating furnaces also operate at low lagging power factor. And last one is a general cause which is defined as a variation of load on the power system can also be a cause for low power factor in the power system. So these are the 5 different causes for low power factor, in which the very first one is induction motors, second one is transformers, third one is miscellaneous equipments like arc lamps, electric discharge lamps, welding equipment, etc. Fourth one is industrial heating furnaces, and lastly the one is variation of load on the power system. Okay, now we shall see what will be the effect by this low power factor on a given power system. So firstly, as I have said, that the expression for power is given by, in a 3-phase system, P is equals to root 3 VL IL cos pi, where P represents 3-phase active power, VL represents line voltage, IL represents line current, and cos pi represents the power factor. Now rewrite the same expression for line current. It is given as IL is equals to P by root 3 VL cos pi. Suppose from the above expression it is clear that if the power factor is low, then load current will be very high. So if the load current is high, then you have the following effects. See, one is effect on transmission line. There are 6 different effects. I will explain you one by one, in which the first one is effect on transmission line. Suppose if the active power is fixed, some 5 megawatts or 10 megawatts, then effect on transmission line. If the active power value is fixed some 5 megawatts or 10 megawatts and it is transmitted over longer distances, then automatically the power factor is low, since low power factor. So if the power factor is low, then automatically from the expression it is clear that the current flowing through the line or carried by that transmission line is very high. If the current transmitted by the transmission is very high, then automatically you require the conductor with more cross sectional area. If they to transmit longer distances, a larger value of current, you require the conductor with larger cross sectional area. So that involves an increased volume of conductor material, so that the cost of your transmission line and transmission system increases, and also it provides a larger amount of loss. Since the value of current is high, then I square R losses are also high. If the losses in the system are high, then automatically the efficiency of that system is very low, and also the voltage regulation of that system is very poor. So this is the one of the effect of low power factor for transmission line. Suppose for a given value of power, the power factor is low, then automatically the current carried by the transmission line is high. If the current transmitted by the transmission line is high, then it requires the conductor with a larger cross sectional area. If it requires with a larger cross sectional area, then automatically we can say that the volume of the conductor increases, which in turn increases the capital cost. Okay, so this also results in high losses, so that there will be reduction in efficiency, and hence the voltage regulation of the system is very poor. Next, the second effect is on transformer. So we know that the transformer rating is generally given in MVA ratings, am I right, or kVA or MVA, volt ampere. And if it is connected with some load, then we can say that it is of the rating is given in megawatts. So when megawatt or kilowatt capacity of transformer comes into the picture, that includes the power factor value. Suppose if the power factor is very low, then automatically the kW capacity of transformer reduces. Suppose you assume that 230 volts and 10 amperes of current, which results in 2300 volt ampere, for example, or 2.3 kVA transformer. If that kVA 2.3 kVA transformer is operated at unity power factor, then we can say that the 2.3 kilowatts of load is connected to the transformer. Suppose if the power factor is reduced to some 0.5, then it is possible to connect only 1.65 kilowatt of capacity to the transformer. So there we are going to lose 50% capacity of that transformer. So this is the effect of fall on transformers due to low power factor. Next, effect of switchgear and bus bar. Effect on switchgear and bus bar. So as I have already said, if the amount of current flowing through the conductor increases, then the conductor size or cross sectional area of that bus bar increases, and you require more contact surface of switchgear equipments. So that is one of the effect due to switchgear and bus bar. Next, effect on generator. It is same as that of effect of your transformers. Suppose the generator rating is already given in megawatts, some 10 megawatts, 20 megawatts, like that. Suppose if the power factor of your generator decreases, then the kilowatt capacity of the generator also reduces. So this gives burden on the exciter also. So that results in extra copper loss or increased amount of copper losses in the generator. If the losses are high, then efficiency of that generator is reduces. If the efficiency reduces, then we can say that the regulation also reduces. And lastly, effect of prime mover. So when power factor decreases, then alternator develops more reactive power. So if that is, it generates more amount of reactive power. So this requires a certain amount of power to be supplied by the prime mover. So as a part of the prime mover capacity is ideal, it represents dead investment, so that the efficiency of the prime mover gets decreased. And lastly, effect on existing power systems. So for same active power, at low power factor, it makes overloading of your equipment. even though it is operated at full rated capacity, if suddenly the load increases, then automatically it leads to failure of your distribution systems. Okay, so these are the various effects on low power factor. Now we can see advantages. So if you overcome these drawbacks, then we can have the improvement in power factor. Then by having the improvement in power factor, what are the advantages? Whatever may be the disadvantages of effect of low power factor will become the advantages of power factor improvement once if you improve the power factor. That is, you can directly say that if the power factor is near to unity value, then the kW capacity of prime mover is better utilized. Similarly, kilowatt capacity of either transformer or generator or transmission line is also increased, which results in increment in the efficiency of the system. So if the system is operated with more efficiency, then we can say that the cost per unit is also decreased. Now the another advantages are voltage regulation may be improved, power losses are reduced due to reduced amount of current, reduced amount of load current flow through the transmission lines, which in turn results in low investment on generators, transformers, transmission lines, distributors, etc. So for large industries, the KVA demand charges can also be reduced. Okay, so these are the various advantages of improvement in power factor.